Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Psycho, aka Sniper98. So, y'all really seemed to like the first time, or the first video that I made with the whole Vlad Arts team and whatnot, so we're gonna do that again for the Valentines Challenge quest. So, the main reason why I wanted to make this video, because, like, oh, why are you making this video when you already made another one, is because this challenge quest is a lot different in nature compared to the challenge quest that we had during the Dante's event. The Dante's event was more of gimmick recognition and knowing how to combat them, which mostly comes down to just being really well prepared for like the gimmicks themselves, and then preparing a team that can try to counter those gimmicks as much as possible. In this case, well, Vlad's team is pretty good against pretty much anything. At least as of right now. That'll change. You know, as the game goes on. But this challenge quest may be a little bit more relevant in terms of like what future challenge quests are gonna be like. I don't really look too far into the game when it comes to things like, you know, challenge quests and one. I'm usually a farming kind of guy, so I take some time to look ahead into the future as to like, oh, what new servants are coming along, or what do I need to farm right now, and all that stuff. Not necessarily challenge quests. So, but you know, even that being said, definitely there will be times when we'll have more boss rush challenge quests, and that's what this challenge quest is like, or that's what this is, the one that we have here with Valentine's. So let's get into this. So again, just wanted to make this video to show you how this particular team works against or not against, in a quest that's meant to be a boss rush. So I guess here we go. So first things first, with this team, just gonna be starting off as I usually do with waiver skills and all that. So waiver uses all his skills. Now, as I'm setting my team up here, the you probably saw in the very beginning when Florence used that the chocolaholic, whatever the hell her skill was called, but that is a major gimmick here. This challenge quest is not without its own gimmicks, of course, but it only has one. But that one gimmick is actually pretty it's pretty Monka-esque. The reason why is because I believe it's like a 60-70% health regen debuff or something like that. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a significant health debuff. That is really bad news for this team because tama is the only one on this team who can heal. You could combat this by taking another mystic code that heals, like for example default or the mages, but you know, obviously that's not ideal because the health debuff or the health regen debuff itself is so strong that it's like, well, do you really want to do that? Because, you know, how much are you really going to be healing for anyway? Like, for example, you just saw right there when Tama used her Fox's Wedding on Vlad, Vlad only healed for 1,000 compared to the 2,500 that he normally gets. So that health debuff is quite significant. Quite significant. This means that this challenge quest is a lot trickier than it needs to be because of that debuff. Now, the debuff is not permanent. I believe it lasts for 5 turns. So the enemies have to recast it again, but I believe all the enemies in the game, at least there are specific ones who have the ability to cast that debuff. Florence is one of them. And there are more later on. I believe Tama is also one of them as well. I guess maybe the support servants in this challenge quest that you have to fight against have the ability to cast it. But either way, the good news is that it's not permanent. You can get rid of it, and yeah, there are ways to combat it basically. One of which is by using the Alice's debuff cleanse, which I could do right now, but that's not ideal because Florence can cast it. If I get rid of the health debuff now on any one of my 3 servants on the field right now, Florence is just gonna recast it again, so it's kind of like a waste of a skill, right? So the trick here to getting rid of the health debuff is to know when to get rid of it and at what time. Your timing needs to be very good, and you have to make sure that you can actually put it to use, because if you get rid of it and you don't actually heal anybody, and you know, Florence or whoever else that you're going up against here for this challenge quest just recasts again, that's just another waste of a debuff cleanse. And nobody here can debuff cleanse except for with your mystic codes. So again, have to be careful with that. So let's get started. Unfortunately, this is kind of a bad draw because we don't have any arch chains. So I guess the most that we can do here is probably go for damage, I guess. So let's see. Tama will actually do double damage compared to a Vlad, so Tama might actually do more damage than Vlad here, which is kind of strange to think about. Maybe. I could be wrong, though. So, let's do this. Tama won't actually get a lot of MP charge off her quick card anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So now, another reason why I want to do this quest is, again, because, well, not another reason, I already mentioned it at the beginning of this video, is the main reason is to kind of show you, like, for these kinds of Servant Boss Rush challenge quests, knowing which enemy to take out first is extremely important, because obviously all these are legitimate servants. They can all use their MPs. All the servants here have access to all 3 of their skills, I believe. So these are legit servants, and even though they're only like what, level 42, level 46, level 35, like on paper they don't seem too threatening, but as you just saw right now, they don't do a whole ton of damage. But again, I have waivers defense buffs active, and yeah, most things don't do a lot of damage to begin with when all of our buffs are active. So you have to carefully think about who you want to kill first and who you want to leave alive, because who you leave alive is almost as important as who you want to try to kill first. In this case, Lancer, Alter, and obviously Drake are our biggest threats. Drake for obvious reasons, because she's a rider, and everybody here is weak to riders. So Riders is obviously a very high priority on our kill list. Lancer Alter is also our next most threatening, but here we're probably going to let's see. So we have to basically decide on who we want to kill first, Lancer Alter or Drake. In this case, I want to go after Lancer Alter first. The reason why is because enemies move from left to right. So Lancer Alter will move first, Florence will move second, and then Drake will move last. This means that as long as Florence is still alive, Drake will only move once. Or use one move, or attack once, or something like that, right? That means, again, in turn, that means that Drake, even though she has a charge skill, and even though she's a rider, she's not really going to be attacking that much, because if she uses skill, she's not attacking. If she attacks, she's not using a skill. That also means that she's not using, if she does use her third skill, we can just charge drain her to fucking oblivion, and because she's a rider, she has a 5-tick MP, so it's gonna take her a while to get up there, especially when we can just, charge drain her into a fucking oblivion. So we're gonna go after Lancer Alter first. But the reason why I'm not going after Lancer Alter with face cards is that Vlad is strong enough to just insta-kill any one of these servants with just one hit of his MP. He's MP5, and even with a single arts buff and waivers defense debuff through his MP, Vlad can do he can clear 100 like 60, 70k easily. So and obviously none of these servants have anywhere near that, or they do, but it'll still be clean kills. So attacking Lancer Alter with face cards here is kind of wasted, is my point. And because we want to try to keep Florence alive as long as possible, because she's only level 46, she's a berserker, and she's more of a support berserker, and her attack rating is that high to begin with, she's not really going to be doing that much damage. Of course, if she crits, that's a different story. But, yeah, that's why I'm attacking Florence with face cards, and we're going to, as soon as we get Vlad's MP charged, we're going to deck Lancer Alter first and get her out of the picture. So we'll drain Drake first, and then we'll also the reason why I'm not charge draining Florence is because Florence, you might already know, but Florence doesn't have an offensive MP. It's not that big of a deal. The most threatening aspect of Florence's MP is actually her debuff clear, because she debuff clears the entire party, and that gets rid of all the debuffs that we set on them, mainly through waivers MP, his defense debuff, his curse, and whatever else. I think those are literally the only ones. So that's kind of annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So we're keeping Tama's charge drain exclusively for Drake's side. We can ensure that Drake will basically never MP. So now, by this point, now that I've explained everything that's going on, by this point, it's a race to get Vlad's MP up as soon as possible, and take out Lancer Alter before she's able to MP. So let's go for it now. I wish I had a better arch chain for this, but I guess this is the best we can manage. So Tama will definitely get her MP up by next turn. Florence will always use her understanding of the human body skill when she gets down past like half HP. I think that most servants in this game, the enemy ones anyway, that you go up against, are programmed to be able to or programmed to use like a skill or something once they reach a certain threshold of HP. And I guess that's what Florence does every time, is what I've noticed anyway. Charge Drain Drake, like we mentioned. And here we will do. What we're gonna do is, let's see. I'm gonna use Tamo's MP so we can start looping waiver skills here. Let's see. We'll go for this. Either way, no matter what arch chain we choose, Tamo will give everyone their MPs back, or help everyone get their MPs. Because overcharge, MP overcharge me and whatnot. Oh, did I accidentally target Drake? Rip. That's fine though, because I didn't actually expect to get Florence down all the way to that much HP so fast, because if we kill her too quickly, then that brings in more servants that we don't want to have to deal with right now. So yeah, killing servants too fast is also a thing. So yeah, very careful of that. Alright, now we're back. So, we got Waver's skills back again. Just in time too, because Waver's skills are obviously are active for 3 turns, and we managed to get him back in all 3 turns, so it's good going. Alright, so now we got Waver's MP charged, or Vlad's MP charged, rather. Let's go for it. So, we're actually not going to go with Tamo's card here because she has Prism of Cosmos, and I explained in the previous video that I did of this why Prism of Cosmos is so good in situations like this, and so that you can just go after someone else's arts card instead. We're going with Vlad because, again, Waver already has Prism of Cosmos, so he'll still gain MP charge even though he doesn't do it. I say not doing anything. I know he's dropping his MP on everybody right now, but you know what I'm saying. At least I hope I do. Or I hope you do. So, Vlad, this is an easy kill, or at least it should be. Yeah. We didn't have Tamo's arts buff on Vlad, but that's all right. All right. Too bad we didn't have that defense debuff for Tamo. So yeah. Let's see here. So Sanzo's up next. Sanzo she can be threatening if she decides to spam her divine casting or whatever, her high speed incantation, whatever it is, the one that gives her like 80% MP charge. And I believe that's on par with divine words, where it gives her 2 ticks of MP charge. So that's very threatening. So if she decides to spam that twice in 1 turn, or in 1 turn, then she's gonna be able to MP literally the next turn. So you don't want that to happen. Luckily, she doesn't do that too often, so it's not that threatening. The chance of that actually happening is rather low. But if it does, well, she can just straight up kill one of your servants right away. Unless she tries to attack like Tama with like 90% defense buffs or something. But obviously that's rather RNG. Either way, we're going to go ahead and use this. Go back to arts looping again. Nice, got the crit. That's a waste of the skill, so that's fine. Ow. Alright, so luckily Drake decided to attack Waver and help him charge his MP, so now we have that to work with. Another thing to note is that because I'm constantly attacking a Berserker, Florence in this case, remember that in this game, like I mentioned before, the game gives you different MP generation rates depending on which class of enemy that you're hitting. So because we're constantly hitting berserkers, we have a little bit less MP charge gain than usual. It doesn't seem to have affected us now, but there are some cases where it can actually come back to bite you. So sometimes if you're doing these quests and you're not performing as well as you think you should be, try to kind of like switch up who you attack. In this case, if you feel like you're not charging your MPs fast enough, then you can always just attack Sanzo here because the game gives you 20% extra bonus, 20% extra MP charge or generation rate if you attack casters. Whereas against berserkers, it's 20% penalty for whatever reason. So that being said, once again, we're going to charge Drain Drake. This time, we're also going to charge Drain Florence, because we don't really want her using her MP if we can help it. But if there's no choice, then obviously we'll just let her use it. But as long as we have the capacity to just keep denying them, then yeah, we won't. So here, here we can do this, because we have Waver's MP, luckily, because Drake decided to attack him. So note that our health debuff is missing, so Florence might recast it here. She might. Unless she just straight up dies. I guess she just died right away. Alright, so, yeah. This is a very vulnerable position for us because we don't have any defense buffs, so, yeah, that can be a problem. However, the good news is that we don't have the whatchamacallit, the health debuff. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to use Invul on Waver because he has no protection. He has no protection. Innuendo. But Tama at least has her shapeshift to work with, so that'll at least tank a little bit of damage for her. And Vlad has Guts active still, and yeah, it's active for like, what, 4 more turns, so that'll at least give him a lifeline. So, let's go ahead. So now we want to see who we want to kill first. Here, what should we do? Who do you want to kill first? We could go after Ishtar. I have a feeling it won't actually completely kill her, though, because she doesn't have the Waver's defense debuff. But Ishtar is definitely now on our next high priority kill list because she's an archer. She's an archer, so she has a 3-tick MP and she has an AoE MP, so she'll literally kill it. She will kill everybody on our team. So Sanzo, and Sanzo's not too threatening here compared to the other two. So we probably will go after who do we want to go after? We'll go after Drake. We'll finish off Drake first. And, yeah. Go after Drake. So this is also, again, another instant kill. So Drake's gone. So now we gotta deal with Ishtar, who recasts that again. Now, use this skill. So I guess pretty much any servant can recast. What is it? Let's see here. Can recast the health debuff. So here, what we want to do is right now, because they recast the health debuff. It would have been really nice if we had Tama's MP at the last turn, so we could have healed everyone to full. But here what we're going to do is we're actually going to debuff cleanse Tama. The reason for that is because Tama is a huge reason why this team even works the way it does. So I want to, and she's been taking a lot of hits as of late in this game, so I want to heal her first. Obviously I'm running the risk of opening up Waver to attack, and obviously Vlad as well, because he's a berserker, and any amount of concentrated fire on him will just instantly melt him, especially now that he doesn't have any of his debuffs, or yeah, any of his defense buffs. But I also, it is kind of a shame because I really wanted to wait another turn in order to let all these skills with 1-turn cooldowns come back online, because if I use Tomo's MP now, it's kind of a waste. But I don't really have a choice here, because I need my buffs, and I need the health back on Tomo. So it is what it is, I suppose. Let's see. Now we gotta think about who we want to attack next. So let's see. Let's try targeting Serenity, because she's an assassin, and she's only effective against Vlad, and she tries to attack either of our casters. She's not going to do jack shit. Obviously, we don't want her to MP though either, because she'll insta-kill any one of our servants. So let's do like this. It would have been nice if we actually managed to score the crit there, but oh well. Alright, now we start, get our skills back up again, or our skills. So in this case, I will try going after Sanzo, because I don't want her using her MP charge and then just going straight into her MP right after. I could go after Ishtar. In fact, you could make an argument for going after Ishtar first, but because Ishtar also has a charge skill of her own, but she only has 1 tick on it, and with Waver's MP that we're about to drop on everyone, we don't have to worry about her MPing, at least not right now. So, of course, we're gonna find out when we're gonna find out and see how fast Vlad can get his MP back. So Sanzo's dead. Ouch. That actually does a lot of damage to Vlad anyway. Alright, Maeve is also up next. Maeve is also kind of a big threat because she's a rider, obviously. So in this case, we are going to charge drain Ishtar. Just make sure that she doesn't get her MP too fast, or at least not as fast as she could. So here we don't have an arch chain, which is a problem. So what we're gonna do here instead is we could actually use Waver's card there, but instead we're gonna go with our full Buster means on Serenity, so she's gonna be a lot easier to kill later on. And Tama just missed a 90% crit. Thanks, Tama. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Alright, so charge drain Ishtar again. And then we'll use Tama's MP there. And then go something like that. Actually, I should have switched target to Serenity again. That was a misplay on my part. Because there would have been a chance that we could have just straight up killed Serenity with our caster cards too. Instead, we'll just wasting damage on Ishtar. Yeah, we could have killed Serenity, or at least made it so that Serenity didn't use her charge drain skill. But that's fine. It happens. Here, this is kind of a tricky situation because now all of our buffs are gone, which is obviously very bad. So, and Serenity is about to use her MP, and we don't have Waver's MP right now, which would have denied her. So, in this case, we're actually going to go straight for Serenity here. We'll go straight for Serenity. We will also not use Vlad's MP. We're just going to save it for the next turn. So here we're going to do Vlad, Waver, and Tama, so we can help Tamo get her MP charge for next turn. So Serenity's dead. We don't have to worry about her NP. Thankfully, they didn't do a lot of damage. Ishtar used her quick card, and Maeve only used her arts card. I think. So that was very lucky on our part. Right. And the defense or the health debuff seems to have gone away. So we will take this opportunity to use Tamo's MP to heal everyone. Gives everyone some really needed heals. Some desperately needed heals. Obviously, we'll target Ishtar so that Ishtar will die for this. Ishtar's dead. Now we got who is it? Yuri and Sansa still. Or not Sansa, we already killed her. Maeve and Yuri. And then we'll have whoever else is coming in from the back line. Use these skills again, and then we have our cooldown back, and Waver gets to use his first skill again. Woohoo! Alright, so for this, what shall we do? For this, what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm going to, we're going to kill, actually, now that I think about it, both Maeve and Yuri have charm skills, which is really annoying to deal with because you know they can either charm Vlad or Waver, and that means that if they charm either of them, that means that's a full third of our team that's out of commission. So in this case, you have to decide, or I have to decide, who do I want to kill off first? Do I want to kill off Yuri or do I want to kill off Maeve? Brynn in this case is not that big of a deal because her skills for the most part are not that threatening. Because she's in a team of 3, if she uses, like, for example, her Mana Burst skill, she won't have that for the next turn because Mana Burst is a 1-turn skill. And if she decides to use a Primeval Rune skill, which is a Star Gen down debuff and an MP down debuff, the Star Gen debuff doesn't really matter because none of these, we don't have anyone who's good at Star Gen except for Vlad, but his Star Gen is tied to his MP overcharge, so it's like whatever, bro. And the MP damage down is actually pretty significant, but it only lasts for 1 turn, so in most cases we can just wait 1 turn and just be like, yeah, whatever, that's a big deal. So in this case, so here, Brynn is actually not that threatening at all. Probably the most threatening aspect about her is the fact that she has a 4-tick MP, and if you're not careful, she can charge it faster than you think. Well, in 4 turns, obviously. But as long as we make sure to pay attention to it and you know, stall her out adequately, shouldn't be as big of a deal. So that leaves Yuri or Maeve. What do you want to kill first? Let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill Yuri first. The reason for that is because Maeve doesn't really use her charm skill, at least not so far. As soon as I say that, I probably just jinx myself. But she doesn't really use her charm skill, and what is it? She doesn't seem to be. She has a charge, technically an MP charge skill, but I think she has a golden, or she has a golden body or something like that. It's one of those skills where if you have Maeve, the playable version of her, her skill gives her MP charge over time, like 10% per turn for 3 turns. So she hasn't used that yet. I'm not quite sure how that behaves on an enemy. Like if it gives her like 1 tick of MP every turn, that's probably broken. That probably isn't the case. But she has yet to use that skill, whereas Uriel can and will use her Vampirism, which is obviously kind of annoying. So we're going to go ahead and kill Uriel first, and we'll stall out Maeve. And so, in order to do that, let's see. We're actually going to give the first skill to Vlad, because I noticed that here we can use a Vlad, Tama, and Waver chain, which will guarantee give Waver and Tama their MPs. So we'll take out Uriel before she gets to even do anything. Nice, got the crit. Apply the attack debuff down again, or the health regen down. So this is starting to be a problem, because Waver is now below half health. And there's no way for us to effectively heal him, and our debuff cleanse isn't going to come back for another 6 turns. So that's why the health debuff, health regen debuff is so annoying to have to deal with. Alright, so now our next target is Maeve, because Shuten obviously is an assassin. She's not really going to do that much against the Waver or Tama, only against Vlad. So, let's go ahead and work this out. So, here what we're going to do is we're going to stall out, let's see, we'll stall out Maeve because we're gonna drop Waver's MP, and that means that if I had charge drain Bryn, then it would have been kind of a waste. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll bully, who is it, Shuten with face cards. So Vlad will get 9, he'll end up with 92% MP charge. So if he takes a hit from anybody, he's getting his MP the next turn. Nice, got the crit. Oh, and Waver stunned everybody, so I guess the whole plan of Vlad getting his MP in the next turn didn't really pan out. So rip that idea. Alright, let me check how long our buffs will last. 1 turn, which is great because Waver's skills will come back in 1 turn, so that's perfect timing on that front. In the meantime, let's go ahead and bully Shuten some more, shall we? Alright, Tama gets her MP again. And y'all stop bullying Waver, for God's sake. Yes, go bully Tama, which kind of sucked saying, for obvious reasons. Let's see, recast Guts. So in this case, I would like to be able to wait 1 turn, so that what was it? So we can get our skills back. In fact, we could take the risk of not doing anything here, so that we can wait for Tama's drain to come back and Waver's Source to come back, so that we can make full use of Tama's MP. Obviously, this means that there's a chance that they target Waver, and Waver could be in a lot of trouble. But we'll see. Wow. Almost straight up killed Shuten. In fact, that killed her with the curse. Hey. Alright, so here in this case, what should we do? Now that I think about it, having this skill come back off cooldown didn't really matter, because now it's like, well, who do we use it on? Who do we really want to use it on? Here, let's charge drain Bryn, because she's getting up there in an MP charge. So in this case, if, for example, Tamamo had been at let's say 150% MP charge, I would have used Waver's first skill on her, because that means that with the Arts Chain and with Waver's first skill to providing 30% MP charge, Waver would have, or not Waver's, Tama would have been able to hit 400% MP overcharge, so that would have been worth it. But as it is, no one's really close except for maybe like Vlad. So, and Vlad only gives like what, 5 extra crit stars, which in the context of this team isn't really that worth it. Like, it's a nice bonus, but it's not something you should consciously go after. So in this case, we're just gonna save Waver's first skill and use it the next turn when you know, nobody has their MP up yet. So let's go ahead and target Maeve. Kill her off. If Tamo had a debuff clear on MP, she'd be fucking godlike. But of course, Divi would never do that because that would mean Tamo's would be literally overpowered. Alright, so everyone got stunned, so we didn't have to worry about anybody making a move there. So here, what we want to do is, let's see. We will charge drain Bryn again. Use Waver's first skill on Tama. And we'll go ahead and kill MHXA, or at least do damage to her right away. I don't know if this will kill, because Vlad doesn't have his arts buff from Tamo, and MHXA doesn't have the defense debuff that Waver's slammed down on him, so this might not actually be able to kill. We'll see. We'll see. We could play it safe and use a Vlad Brave Chain. That's what we could do. But I'm looking at the the Tama Quick Chain there, because if I don't know how much MP charge she gets off an Anchor Quick. If I did, I'd be able to know how much charge she gets off a crit Anchor Quick. Because if she's able to get her MP charged up to like 89%, then that's all she needs. So I'm going to play for that risk, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Fortunately, we're also targeting the Berserker, and that might screw us over here. We're gonna find out. So yeah, that didn't actually kill, but that didn't actually kill her. Yeah, the crit card, the crit quick didn't really do anything, but thankfully Bryn was the I was gonna call her a homie, but I don't know how appropriate that would be, but yeah, that was good. So man, we ended up getting Tamo's MP charge anyway, thanks to Bryn, and that means that obviously we can recast this again. We'll go like that. Probably should have been attacking Tamo with base cards as soon as Tamo showed up, honestly, because now Tamo is our least threatening target, because the only thing threatening about her is her NP, and that it gives the entire enemy team NP charge, and the fact that she likes to spam shapeshift, but that doesn't really we don't care about that. We really don't. That being said, let's go ahead and charge drain Bryn, and we will kill Musashi right away. The Musashi, because Musashi, remember, has a triple Buster deck, so whenever Musashi attacks, more than likely she's using a Buster card, and we don't want that. So we're gonna go ahead and immediately take out Musashi. So like that, and then end with a Tamo card so she can get a charge next turn. So Musashi is dead, which leaves Tamo and Bryn, and whoever's coming in next, which I believe is Emperor Nero or Bride Nero. So there's Nero Bride. I believe his Vlad's Guts is not active anymore, so we'll recast that. Let's see here. Here, what I want to do, actually, we'll use Tamo's MP right now so that she gets arts, her arts buff next turn. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna debuff cleanse Waver this time, so we can give him a thick 3k HP heal, because he's been taking a lot of damage as of late. So that, boom, and boom. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and charge drain Bryn. Come on, tap the button. We're going to use the Waver's first skill on Tamo. Kaboom, kaboom. And then we'll go ahead and kill Nero Bride right now. So boom, boom, and, boom. Good thing we this is a good thing we have we gave Waver his health thing, or whatever you want to call it. Charge drain Bryn again. If Tamo gets her MP off, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's more the fact that she gives MP charge, or a tick of MP charge to everyone on her team, so that's obviously bad. Alright, time to finish this. So, let's go ahead and, let's see here. Let's do this, and we'll go for that. Throw in a Vlad Buster card in there for a little bit extra DPS. Didn't stun either of them, but that's fine. Didn't get the crit either, but again, that's fine. Not getting Tamo's Art's crit there was kind of bad. Why is Bryn constantly attacking Waver? Wouldn't it make more sense for her to attack Vlad instead? Alright. So for this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go ahead and target Tamamo. Now I don't know if Tamo can actually or Vlad can actually kill here, but we'll go for Guts and Glory. No, I guess the overkill told us what we need to do. So, Vlad gets a double kill towards the very end in order to win it. And that's that. Also, keep in mind even if you have already finished the challenge quest, if you want to get your master missions done quickly, I guess, you can just do this challenge quest and get most of it done. It's like literally for like 5 AP, and you do how many master missions? Like 5 or 6 of them. Let's see, like you do like a lot of them. Yeah, you pretty much do all of them. So just do the challenge like twice, and you're done. So, just a few more closing thoughts before I wrap it. Before I end the video. Like I said, this challenge quest, the one that's with the Valentine's event, is a great way for you to be able to practice using your teams against servant boss rushes, or just boss rushes in general, I guess, because it teaches you enemy target prioritization, like knowing which servants you go after at what time. And it forces you to learn about everyone's skills, because shadow servants aren't really that threatening because maybe they don't have access to all the servants' skills, and they don't have the MPs because their quote-unquote MPs are literally their extra attack animations, which isn't that threatening, all things considered. But in situations where you're up against like actual servants, like in the case of this challenge quest, you need to know all the skills of all the servants and kind of account for like what everyone can do, because even if there's like one turn where you successfully guess and gamble like, oh, this servant is going to do this right now or in the next turn or something like that, then you know, that turn could be what potentially saves the run for you whenever you're out there doing other challenge quests. So, like I said, if you're concerned that, you know, oh, you're not, you know, you don't have the experience necessary to be able to clear challenge quests in the future, take this time now before Valentine's ends in like this later on this week, and you know, just run this quest over and over. You can do it infinite times. Obviously, you're not going to get anything out of it, but it's only 5 AP, and you can run it as many times as you like. So definitely take the time and to practice this quest and practice and build up experience on how to, you know, effectively combat, you know, servant rushes or servant boss rushes. Kind of like this, because they're only going to get when we get new ones in the future, they're just only going to get harder from here on out. So thank you guys very much for watching. I know this video was very long, but given the previous video that I did on this, a lot of you seem to have really liked it, so hope you like this one again. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.